Hello, my name's Amy Goodman, and I'm the co-director of the Autism Now Center. This is the 15th video in our Autism Now Answer series. The question for this week is, what are the disability rights laws and what do they cover? Number 1, Americans with Disabilities Act, or the ADA, prohibits discrimination in employment that covers state and local governments, public accommodations, commercial facilities, transportation, and telecommunications. The first section is called Title I, which deals with employment. It requires employers with 15 or more employees to provide individuals with disabilities an equal opportunity to benefit from the full range of employment opportunities available to others. Section 2, otherwise known as Title II, it covers state and local government. It requires state and local governments give equal opportunities to individuals with disabilities. It covers public education, transportation, health care, and the courts. It also covers public transportation services such as buses, subways, commuter trains, and the Amtrak. Title III is public accommodations, which covers businesses, nonprofit service providers, privately operated entities, privately operated transportation, and commercial facilities. Title IV deals with telecommunications, which covers telephone and television access for individuals with speech and hearing disabilities. The next one is Telecommunications Act. It requires manufacturers of telecommunications equipment and providers of services to ensure that equipment and services are accessible and usable to all individuals with disabilities. Number 3, Fair Housing Act, prohibits housing discrimination. Number 4, Air Carrier Access Act, prohibits discrimination in air transportation. Number 5, Voting and Accessibility for Elderly and Handicapped Act, requires polling places to be physically accessible to all individuals with disabilities for federal elections. Number 6, National Voter Registration Act, makes it easier for all Americans to exercise their fundamental right to vote. Number 7, Civil Rights Act of Institutionalized Persons, otherwise known as CRIPA, authorizes the Attorney General to investigate, uncover, correct any widespread deficiencies that seriously jeopardize the health and safety of residents of institutions, nursing homes, jails, detention centers, juvenile corrections facilities, and prisons. 8, Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, otherwise known as IDEA, requires public schools to make available to all eligible children with disabilities a free and appropriate public education in the least restrictive environment appropriate to their individualized needs. Number 9, Rehabilitation Act, prohibits discrimination in programs conducted by federal agencies receiving federal financial assistance, federal employment, and in the employment of federal contractors. Section 501 requires affirmative action and non-discrimination in employment by federal agencies of the executive branch. Section 503 requires affirmative action and prohibits employment discrimination by federal contractors and subcontractors with contracts of more than $10,000. Section 504 states that no qualified individual with a disability in the U.S. shall be excluded from, denied benefits of, or be subjected to discrimination under any program or activity that either receives federal financial assistance, is conducted by an executive agency, or the U.S. Postal Service. Section 508 establishes requirements for electronic and information technology developed, maintained, procured, or used by the federal government It requires that all information and technology be accessible to all individuals with disabilities. Architectural Barriers Act, or ABA, requires that buildings and facilities that are designed, constructed, or altered with federal funds or leased by a federal agency comply with federal standards for physical accessibility. This is a brief overview of disability rights laws. For more details or information or additional resources, go to www.ada.gov/cguide.htm. I hope this has been helpful, and I hope it helps you with your journey into autism. Just remember, the more you know, the more empowered you will be.